Hollywood Bowl in California, Hollywood, California. We are currently in an underground area where if you park in lot C and D, you get to walk to the hall without having to go through traffic, which is really nice.
The cool thing about seeing John Williams live is that they sell some lightsabers for you to bring out while you're watching.
All over the kitchen.
Oh, they even have a Kylo Ren style one. The thing about catching a show at the Hollywood Bowl is that you could bring food, your own picnics, wine, and have your meal before the show. I am repping Gryffindor. I'm an obnoxious Gryffindor. They have to check every bag, so be sure to get here early to make time for that if you are planning on bringing in your food and drink. There's really cool posters.
Let me show you the design we did for the
Ooh,
green.
the
Sheeted and shoes.
And if you don't want to bring food, you can order food here. There's various stations with different options. And there's even self-ordering kiosks. You can order ahead, which is really sweet. A really neat thing is that they even have boxes that you can purchase to have your picnic in there. And they have dedicated servers who can also come and sell you food and drink from any of the merchants at the bowl. We have our glass of Chardonnay. We got our sandwiches from Sprouts. How's the sandwich?
It's really good. I got the turkey, Italian turkey with provolone. It's delicious, and it's been pressed, and it has the ridges that feel really nice in my mouth.
That's the most Hufflepuff thing I've ever heard you say.
I am Hufflepuff.
I'm proud of you.
And I like my ridges.
And here's my sandwich. Sprouts is awesome because they have gluten-free bread that I can build a sandwich with, so I too can still enjoy delicious, cheesy turkey goodness at a picnic. Cheers! Cheers.
So, I don't have a drink, many of you do. I will offer a toast to our very beloved Los Angeles Philharmonic Orchestra, which is celebrating its 100th birthday.
Happy birthday!
My goodness, what do we do next? Where will the ideas come from? And I thought of my friend David Newman. I say my friend because I knew him when he was a little boy, or half-grown little boy, at a time when I was playing piano in his father's orchestra. And David has grown up to be a fine violinist, playing in my orchestra on several films, including E.T. And he's developed into the kind of person that if you ask me to talk about film music, I would say talk to David Newman, because he's genuinely a scholar on the subject. He loves it, he researches it, he now conducts it worldwide as an eminent practitioner of this art. And so I've invited him to come along and help me and all of us to in a sense, rejuvenate the whole idea. His father was Alfred Newman, who was a very famous orchestra conductor and composer. And I will commit the ultimate solecism, which is to say breach of etiquette, by telling you that I have won 5 Oscars. That's the breach of etiquette, by telling you that. For the reason that, to just illustrate a proportion, that David's father, Alfred Newman, won 9 Oscars. So my mother would tell me that I have to work a lot harder, which I will try to do. And it is a great pleasure for me to introduce to you my friend David Newman.
Not a Galaxy's Edge lightsaber, but it's a very fancy lightsaber that they can see from the stage.
Good sounds, good sounds. Well, so where can you get one like this?
That was made by a friend of mine who I'm working with. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And where's that friend work? I mean, works for Disney, did you say?
No, well, he actually, yeah, we do. And he made a little R2-D2 unit, and he's.
Are you taking orders for Christmas?
He only made like 3 of them.
Wow!
Oh my God.
This is fancier than Galaxy's Edge. It's actually made by people at
So you're
Disney.
saying we have to get out of here with that if we want.
There's no way to get such a thing, you know that?
Yeah, let go. So you take it down, and then press the bottom for like a second and a half. Okay, now try. Oh yeah.
I took a few, so I just sent you all. She gets to hold an authentic lightsaber.
Yeah, go ahead. You gotta hit it a little hard.
So if you take the music away from a scene like that, it seems kind of eerie and weird and you don't know what's going on. Then you put John's music and it becomes a reverence. And they're like scientists taking samples. They don't want anyone to know they're there because they don't want to disturb the environment. It's all wonderful. And that's what the music brings to it. So it's an extraordinary thing what film music does. It's simple on the surface, but can be very in-depth as an art underneath, which I know a lot of you know this, because you come to this. Anyway, I want to introduce the Cal State Fullerton University singers that are. They're gonna join us on the next 3 things that we're pieces that we're doing. They're all Steven Spielberg movies that John Williams, of course, scored. The first one is we're gonna do the dinosaur reveal scene from Jurassic Park, the original Jurassic Park, and we have the chorus, so it'll be exactly the way that it was in the movie.
This species of variform has been extinct since the Cretaceous period. I mean, this thing. What?
It's a dinosaur. You did it. You crazy son of a bitch, you did it. 2527 Quebec, back this off, How fast are they? Well, we clocked the T-Rex at 32 miles an hour.
T-Rex? You said you got a T-Rex?
Say again. We got a T-Rex. Well, we'll do it if it hurts. prominent role in the new film. My new theme to be something more commanding, like la 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 la. That is all I have so far. Yes, that's good. Like, la 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 la. That might be it. Once more from the top.
I would play now the main title of Star Wars. But before I do that, I just want to remind myself that this has been 40 years since that film started, these films. And you know George Lucas, who's the director and creator of all of this. When we first made the film, I think it was 1976 or 7, none of us had any inclination that there would be a second Star Wars film of any kind. Disney is promising that will be the last episode, so JJ and I are trying to put a nice bouquet on it. And I think, without seeming too commercial, I must say to you, I think you will enjoy this film very much that he's doing. But here is the survivor from episode 1, the main title of Star Wars.
we wrap this vlog in the parking lot.
We wrapped this clog in the parking lot. What was your favorite set of music?
I really liked that we got to hear a bit of the E.T. score.
I liked the cowboy score and the circus. Or not the circus, the carousel score. But most importantly, I liked the Jane Eyre piece.
Yeah, you were vibing. I there's video in this video of you just like along to it, and I was like, I've never seen this, so
I've never seen it either. It was on the BBC.
We watch stuff on the BBC.
No, I know, but it was on the BBC in like the 70s. I have never seen it, and I've never heard it, and I was really glad that we got to hear new John Williams.
I got to hold and play with that lightsaber, which was pretty awesome. Like, not just one pretty, like multiple pretties, like an infinity of pretties. A millennium of pretties.
Pretty finity.
Yeah, no, being in an audience of Star Wars fans is the most magical thing. I think like a highlight of this year specifically has been being in massive crowds of Star Wars fans at both Galaxy's Edge and at this concert. Has been such an emotional experience. I don't know, just movies are magical, and I mean, like growing up where like the Star Wars fans in my life were like my brother and my dad, and getting to meet more and more fans who grew up the same way is so special. And holding on to those bits of fantasy and things that make this world so awesome and makes you believe in the best the world could be by being a part of the Resistance. And we got to experience that on the first day of Galaxy's Edge. We got to experience that here tonight. And Star Wars is amazing. Thanks for watching this episode of Park Goer. Subscribe, like, ring the bell, do the thing at Park_Goer on Twitter and on Instagram, but mostly on Instagram for the most part. You follow me on Twitter at Sabina has no R, on Instagram at That Lady Graves, like tombstones. Jonathan at the Dark Program on Twitter, at Green Graves on Instagram, our dog son at Gus Graves on Instagram. Like, ring, subscribe, the bell thing, comment below. Whatever. Why still Shark Fin if you know play Shark Song? I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.